If you've never played Dead Rails on Roblox, here's how you play the game. You spawn in a town with the train, you sell the gold bar, you buy coal, you fuel the train, and you leave. But that's not what we care about right now. Normally, your goal is to get the train to the very end, which is exactly 80,000 meters away from spawn. Within those 80,000 meters, you come across quite a bit, such as towns, horses, vampires, werewolves, horses, barns, cowboys, and horses. The reason I'm even making this video is because the horses just look so silly, and you can duct tape them to the train. So here's the story of how I added horsepower to a train. We start our journey, well, here actually, I kind of started recording at a weird time, but where we currently have 4 horses duct taped to the train. There's only 3 ways to get horses in this game. From a barn, from stealing, or tame them yourself with a saddle. Using the saddle is usually the hardest part because horses are something else in this game, but it's still possible. I didn't do it too much. The first part of the game is exactly what you would expect, trying to get money to buy weapons and just survive the night, but horses are still the main priority. At about 6,000 meters from spawn, I found a singular cowboy, so that's another horse to the list. And while raiding a town, there's actually a cowboy here, which kind of got the jump on me, so I had to, well, yeah. At nighttime, up to 4 events can happen. It's only ever one at a time, so it's zombies, vampires, or werewolves, but the first few nights were relatively simple. It didn't affect the horses at all. The 4th night that can happen is a thunderstorm, but since we have lightning rods, we're probably fine. When lightning strikes a lightning rod, it makes it completely harmless to people. Unfortunately, horses can actually die even if you have a lightning rod, so just as long as we kept the horses away from the lightning rods, we were okay. A few cowboys and towns later, and we were off to a really good start. By now, we were at about 20,000 meters, and we had 5 horses. It's a pretty good pace, but I would like it to be better. Outlaws are typically the best way for both money and horses in the game, so whenever we find them, it's really good for us. You just gotta be careful not to shoot their horses, cause the rifle will one-shot to the head. This is how we managed to get most of the horses that we had, so we always had to stop whenever we saw even a single cowboy on a horse. We also encountered a few barns, which normally I only get like 1 or 2 in a run, but this time, we got quite a few horses from that as well. This horse here actually got struck by lightning. The lightning rod was on the other side of the train, but I guess that's how big of a range it has. Somehow, it's not dead, so good for him. Now at least we know the blast of lightning has a really big range, but I hope the lightning rod is able to get lightning from the entire length of the train. Another town later, and I had a lot of money. Another cool feature in this game is an item called snake oil. In addition to healing you, it gives you a pretty big speed boost. The fun part about this is it actually stacks, so you can drink 100 of them and go at light speed. This would be important if we ever wanted to catch runaway horses and use saddles on them. This was actually surprisingly inconsistent though, because I would try to pick up the horses with my bag and it didn't work sometimes. Past about 30,000 meters, we decided we had enough money that we didn't even need to stop at towns. All we really wanted was horses, not money. At around 40,000 meters, we found this castle. Typically, there's a lot of really expensive loot inside the castle, but right now there's a cowboy outside of it, which meant horses. We also looted the castle though. This was when we had our first death due to the most common enemy ever in a castle. Cowboys? Huh? Well anyway, there's 2 extra horses now. We also got a lot of money in that castle, so we sold it in the next town. During lightning storms, I was the one who actually had to go out and gather the horses. My perk ability made me immune to lightning. Even if I didn't have the perk ability, I still much preferred the lightning storms because it's better than zombies, vampires, or werewolves spawning in. Fortunately for me, the next town over I could actually buy saddles. That way the wild horses I had wouldn't be wild anymore, and they wouldn't try to run away when I put them on the train. With those last horses on, here's how it looks for now. Somewhere along the line we also found this fort. Normally I would skip it, but whenever you battle these people and leave, a whole bunch of people on horseback try to attack you, so that's more horses for us. On the way to the next town, I saw 4 cowboys right outside. This is actually really convenient because there's automatic turrets that shoot any enemies that come near the town. So all I have to do is bring them towards the town and then I can take their horses. We currently had a grand total of a lot of horses. Once we got back on the rails, it turned out to be a lightning night, which, would have been fine. All I had to do was move that horse that was suspiciously close to the lightning rods and we would be fine. Right? What started off as just a fun little adventure turned into a massacre very quickly. Largest tragedies ever known to hit Roblox. Police reports have also confirmed that may be the worst event on that Monday. Here is the original recording from the event.
Well, everyone lived. Lightning rod. Oh my gosh.
Did they all die?
Yes.
All of them?
Mostly. What the heck?
Eventually, we reach 73,000 meters. At 80,000, there's a heavily armed base that we're going to have to shoot our way through. We have to make it to the very end. For glory, for honor, and for the horses. As the sun came up, we were ready. Everything was leading up to just this moment when we were finally at the end. And we arrived at our main goal, a horse-powered train. And despite the loss, despite the hardship we went through, we ended with a total of 48 horses. And I think it was worth it. So we rammed the train into this town and we fought like the world was gonna end tomorrow. Because it didn't matter if we had lived or died after this point. We had accomplished our mission, and that was all that mattered. So as I took one last look at our train, I knew I had done something good for the world.